Okay.
It's our first time, so it's okay. Everybody has that awkward first time.
This
So
is
let's
true.
do it. Let's go
All
ahead
right.
and do it. I'm here to let you guys know it might be a little awkward,
Might be a little rough.
but here we are.
Welcome to the Snap. I am Ruby Red,
And I am Rose Bloom.
and this is our first show, so it's obviously going to be a little bit rough. But we are a new podcast. We're going to be looking at kind of the cult-like behaviors of America. So I want to explain a little bit about the Snap. One of the things that is going on in America right now is I feel like we have reached almost peak cult behavior. And we want to bring you into a little bit of awareness of what you might not be aware you're doing just because it's all around you. And you're
But we're not starting a new
surrounded
cult.
in it.
We're not.
No, we're not starting a new cult. One of the things that I love most about this thing is the idea of deprogramming. And one of the steps in there is popping, where when people go through the deprogramming stage, they reach a point when logic and what they've been just swimming in for however long collides, and logic takes over, and there's almost an audible pop or a snap in their brain. So we're going to
Literally
be
like you're stepping into reality.
yes, like you're stepping out of the matrix, you've been unplugged, and you hear that snap. We want to be that snap. And why should people listen to us?
Because we're Ruby and Rose.
Mm-hmm.
We're awesome. You're going to get a little bit of everything. You're going to get some deep shit. You're going to get some funny things. You're going to get some stuff that's going to be like, yeah, I never thought about
Relatable.
it that way.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, what's going on in the world today? Because I have not been paying attention that much this last week.
I will say this. Just because I'm from that area and that's where I'm going back to, the Stoneman Douglas shooting. Of course, you know, that was, I hate for it to sound so depressing and be so depressing, but that was a depressing situation where you have these young kids that are losing their lives, and then you're hearing the stories of these kids. You have the girl Helena Ramsey. She is a 17-year-old girl who is telling her friend how to shield herself with books so she doesn't get hit, but she ends up dying. Like at 17, can you think about having to make that decision? Like,
Is
I'm
she
going to
the one that
protect
wound
my
up being the
friend.
body shield, or is that the other kid?
She's a different girl. Her friend is a different student. And then you have the one girl, I think her name was Jamie Gutenberg. Her dad, what broke my heart is her dad was describing his daughter. You know, sometimes she's late, sometimes she's all over the place. This morning, I don't even know if I said I love you to my daughter. Don't cry, please. It's not funny. It is not. Like, I have to smile through the hurt because sometimes you do forget to do that. You forget to tell your loved ones that you love them, or you're running out the door or something like that. And it just hurts so bad because, like I say, being from Broward County, knowing the school, and my question, I mean, I don't know if it's a question. I don't know. It's just a thought, but all those people, so many students, so many people, the faculty as well, because you have to think about it. You're working at a school. you know you have to protect those kids. It's a parent instinct. It's an adult instinct, because if I see a child hurt, I'm going to be like, you know, what's wrong? Even where I work at. If a child wants a piece of gum or something, I'm like, if mommy says yes, I'll buy it for you. It's 25 cents. I got it for you. So it's that instinct of being an adult to protect children. Mm-hmm. You know, as people say, they are the future. Mm-hmm. They're going to grow up to be, you know, to be the new us. Mm-hmm. At some point in time, they're going to have to take care of us. Mm-hmm. So you're thinking about all of these young students who lost their lives. You're thinking about the faculty, like they say, the coach, Aaron Feist. You jumping from the students to take bullets. Mm-hmm. Back to the student, Peter Wayne, the Asian immigrant. I'm not gonna say what nationality he is, because I don't really know which of the Asian countries he's from. But
I think it's China.
Yeah, he's Asian. Mm-hmm. He is in JROTC or ROTC, and he pretty much did a duty like our service members do. Mm-hmm. Our adult service members.
Yeah. And he was, what, 15?
I think he was.
15, yeah.
And you think about that, and to me, like, I thought about, what if I was in this situation? Or what if my children are going to school? Mm-hmm. And it's so many things that you have to think about. So that shooting is still fresh to me. Mm-hmm. It happened February 14th. It's been over a month. And it's still fresh to me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's still.
What do you think about the idea of arming teachers?
I think it's a no.
Could you imagine being in that situation?
I could, and I only have a negative opinion about that. Because if I send my child to school, and if somebody else's child is acting up, and a teacher, you know, feels threatened by that student and decides, hey, what if that teacher is not really mentally stable? Because I've had a lot of teachers, we all have. What if that teacher isn't mentally stable and decides that, oh, I feel threatened by this student yelling at me, and my baby's at her desk, you know, reading a book or doing what she's supposed to do, but this irate student is, you know, acting up, and my child gets shot. I am cutting the fuck up, and I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I can't even begin to imagine how I would feel if I got a note home. Do you know, the first time when we were stationed in Japan for 3 years, and that was where my oldest started school, and there is no gun violence in Japan. Basically, there were like 6 deaths last year from guns, period.
Right.
Like, and they have 1/3 of our population. Even if you tripled their population, that would be you know, like 36, and we definitely have more than 36 shootings here in America.
Yeah, we had half of that with that one shooting.
That wasn't even anything that I had to have cross my mind. And Sandy Hook happened while we were living there, and
which takes me back to my kids, because you know they're a younger age.
And my son was a first grader.
See,
that happened. You know, I during the holiday season, and I had a cousin who died right before the holidays, and I couldn't imagine, and it was an accident, I couldn't imagine if it was an intentional act. Like, that's just not even something that I could begin to process, I don't think. And I forget where I was going with this.
How do you feel about the teachers having guns? It's a no. Like, I really think so, because these teachers, for one, I'm not going to blame it on the students, because it's not the students at all. But the chicken nuggets, the hormones, they have the students, like these kids, they are an incredible size. And like I say, with everything going on, it's so much that can tie into it. With everything that's going on, I get so loud when I'm hyped up. But everything that's going on.
How would you feel if one of your girls was a boy?
How would I feel if one of my girls were? I would say
in a situation.
That would be an absolute hell no. Because look at the young guy that just got shot by the cops. in his grandma's backyard. He got shot, I forget how many times,
20.
but 20 times.
8 in the back.
8 in the back with a cell phone. And that's why I think I fear so much because of my skin color and because the skin color of my children. And it seems like in this world, like,
That
they think,
context is forgotten a lot of times.
yeah, like you are black and apparently you see us as a threat, so you just want to shoot us. And, you know, no offense or whatever, you got all these crazy ass white people that are doing things. Yes, black people commit crimes as well. Black people commit violent crimes as well. But look at these mass shootings. Look at the bomb situation in Texas. This guy was white. Look at the Sandy Hook situation. This guy was white. Look at the Stoneman Douglas shooting. This guy is he white?
Mm-hmm. Probably.
See,
He was
that's
adopted.
Okay.
But I'm not sure what his mother's, I'm not sure. He presents as white.
Yeah, so he's white. And why are they all mentally ill? But yet, if I had a son, he can't have a fucking cell phone. He can't have a bag of Skittles. He can't wear a hoodie. It's so many things that...
There are layers that other people don't think about.
Yes, it is.
They don't have to.
It seems like it's just a crime being black.
So that's kind of scary having the idea that your educator would be able to decide if you're a threat or not.
Exactly. And I'm tall. Like I said, I'm 6'2". My husband, he is 6'5". We have children together. They are some pretty big kids right now. And who knows where puberty and where, life is going to take them as far as their size and stuff. So if my daughter grows up to be 6'3", if she gets upset or whatever, if she raises her voice, because I have a feisty one. So if, she raises her voice, because I have 2 daughters, you decide she's a threat and you shoot her. I feel like at that moment, and it may be inappropriate to say, you might as well shoot yourself right after her because we're going to have some issues. She's a child. I can't say how children act in school because you do act different in school versus when you are with your parents. But I'm pretty much raising my children how I was raised. You respect adults. Yes, you can get upset, but you will not curse adults. You will not raise your hand. You will not hit adults or whatever. None of that shit is happening. And if you do, then you're going to have to deal with me.
And that should be, that really should be how it is.
Yeah, it's a whole system. It's a way of you raising your children. It's a way of,
how do we
teachers
break
respond.
That? How do we break that system?
Beat these kids' asses, for one.
You think so?
Yeah, I really think so. I don't think, I got a spanking for, it seems like, everything. I don't think you should spank your child for everything because kids are going to be kids. You have to let them, experience things. You have to let them have their own personalities. To me, I'm not going to spank you if I tell you don't put your hand on the stove and you put your hand on the stove and you burn yourself. That's your discipline.
That's a natural consequence.
Exactly. What do I need to beat you for? You already in pain. You done burnt yourself. Hopefully, if you're smart, daughter or son, you will not touch the stove again. You get what I'm saying?
I can understand that. What do you think about having clear backpacks?
I think it's a load of crap.
Why?
Because you have clear backpacks. Okay, if I'm a student, they make us carry clear backpacks. I will hide it in my pants if I want to bring a gun to school. If I want to bring a knife to school, hide it in a different part of, we all know creative ways of cheating.
That's a really good point, because then what are they going to make you do, wear clear pants? I don't think they can do that.
Exactly. And then, like I said, are invading.
I hadn't even considered that aspect.
You're invading these young girls. Like, it's young guys as well. We don't know. I'm a female, so I don't necessarily know everything that guys go through. But as far as females, once puberty starts, we get our cycles. We have to carry products. I know I started late, and it was just very embarrassing. For like the first 3 months, I would call out sick. Well, not call out, but tell my mom, like, oh, I'm sick every month.
I had really bad anxiety. I wouldn't even like say anything to anybody, and I
Yeah.
would try to keep it as confidential as possible. I can't imagine having to broadcast to the school that I had that.
Right, and there's so many different things like I say, the hormones and the chicken nuggets. Girls I know have started at 8 years
We're
old.
gonna have another show about
Yes.
hormones and chicken nuggets because it sounds like this is something that is on
I
your
blame
heart.
it all on the chicken nuggets. But girls, I know I have friends that started their cycle at 8 years old. Can you imagine being 8, 9, 10, even all the way up until, like I said, I wasn't comfortable with it until I had my first child at 21. So can you imagine having your privacy invaded just because they think that's going to stop you from carrying a fucking assault rifle into school?
I just think the whole thing is ridiculous anyway. The whole argument against it is that it would be an infringement on free speech. And then, you know, you have the Second Amendment people that are like, but they're infringing on our Second Amendment right. I don't really think they're coming for your Second Amendment rights that way. And I really think you should think about that a little bit more. I think that's going to lead into the trash meme of the day. So I have a few friends who have posted this Daily Wire story that says Parkland student complains clear backpacks infringe on his constitutional rights. And the whole framing of this article, from what I understand, is that they see him as infringing on their Second Amendment rights. But what I don't understand is you have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So I'm not really sure how any of that all flows together. It doesn't make any sense.
Ties into clear backpacks, like really. It's not
like
going to
you
stop
said,
it
the
if
next
somebody
thing will
makes
be-
a decision. He made that decision. If he had a clear backpack, then guess what? What if he would have walked on campus and just started shooting up security and ran and then went to the building and then decided to shoot? You don't know.
He
what
didn't even
his
need
plan
to.
was.
He went to that school before, so he knew exactly where the guard was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing, is they're talking about armed guards and everything, and they were talking about the shooting at the school in Maryland as being an example of having an armed guard working. Well, the armed guard shot him after he shot himself in the head after the shooter shot a girlfriend that he was mad at, which goes into kind of another thing that I think people don't pay attention to, which is controlling behavior in relationships. There's a lot of controlling behavior in domestic abuse situations. I feel like this is like a domestic abuse situation. I don't know if he was planning on getting anybody else, but he hit his target, and then he shot himself in the head, and then the armed guard shot him. And it turns out he didn't even save her life because she was just taken off of life support a couple of days ago. So I hate that argument as well. The armed guards or armed teachers.
It's not.
It just doesn't make sense.
It shouldn't
and it's
happen.
going
It
to
doesn't
go.
make sense.
It's going to go down a road that we've been down way too often, and we're already experiencing even after the shooting, which is it's going to affect certain communities.
It's going to
a lot
affect
more
the black communities
than other
because they're going to
communities.
see us as threats and for no reason at all.
All right, so
We are going to go ahead.
I feel like this is a good start. Bear with us. We'll get a lot better. A lot better. And in the future, we'll have some good conversations. We're talking about like questions from you all. If you all have questions that you'd like to see us address,
Yeah, let us know. What do you want us to talk about?
let us know.
Do you want to know more about us? Because we're very interesting people. I am.
We are. And we're also really funny people if you give us a chance. We will be covering problematic faves because everybody's fave is problematic at some point. And we will have a segment called Don't Judge Me. So if you have ideas for what you would like to not be judged on, let us know, because there's a lot of things that I don't want you to judge me about, but I'm going to judge you about.
Hypocrite.
Yes,
All right, y'all.
I am a
y'all,
human.
y'all have a good one.
Up your mind.
All right, spin the snap.
As version is a reveal to reality. Realize what you now see is not what you have always known to be truth. Most blow my kind off for a kook. Those who take the time to listen might start to think the way we do. Never trust a politician for a fucking thing. Never put faith in anyone when you can see their puppet strings. The world's ruled by liars, always has been. Leaders taught since birth to keep the masses immersed in madness. Project the young minds what is and isn't accepted. Any resistance to the system will get you a prison sentence. Sell tobacco and alcohol but won't legalize weed. And try to lock people up like a mortal technique. Those who teach it the evil tactics speak revolution against political structure so corrupt that it's useless. Some people choose not to see what the truth is and force a blind eye when shown where the proof is. This is thinking music. This is thinking music. This is thinking music. So everything you know, this is thinking music. Some people will live and die for a sword that they know nothing about. To them, patriotism's unconditional. Its appeal is empowerment. Fighting for what you believe isn't wrong. But instead of using violence, I put combat in a song. Packing the bomb, practicing calm, passing along information, knowing that these people are bound to catch on. The movement started, is well charted by the internet. So place bets, cause life is a gamble on a train from dreams. Overseen by demons and henchmen with greedy desires and an infinite means to clench them. Blind faith in another is the key to self-destruction. Getting out's almost impossible when you're caught in the web of seduction. Learn to learn your lessons from those who learn the hard way, just so you know that twist of fate is never far away. Every person has their own part to play. You just have to open up your mind, so let it start today. Thinking music. This is thinking music. This is thinking music. So everything you know, this is thinking music. So inconceivably we seem to be easily weasel, grease through the gears of the system. The tears of persistent resistance necessary to wage against this violent machine. Every second of the essence, mind power is a valuable thing. So long I spent sitting alone, honing the craft, mind eyeing through every line, fine combing the draft. Today's rationality becomes a thing of the past, realizing your entire life's been lived inside of a cast. Strange how we've come so far with technology, yet our conscience remains nowhere close to where it ought to be. All we know is how to destroy each other, manipulate situations to exploit each other. The world faces to darkness, lost to this arms race between spades and hearts. Play your card, make your mark, face the harsh realities of the cataclysm that we live in. The last challenge for civilizations coming to grips with the self. We're at the point of no return in these times so twisted. The only ones who will make it are the wise and the wicked. Scripted crippling of intelligence, suppressing the gifted. Million tons of bullshit for every ounce of truth sifted. Every moment in history has a story to tell. We just by the side that they write and decided to sell. This plane is fucked up and all of the critics are outcasts. Earth drowning in tears inside a smiling clown mask. This is thinking music.